Doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. If grief is going to hit you, it's going to hit you. The show is not talking about this at all. It's not talking about what's really going on with Natalie. And this is where my blood starts to absolutely boil. I was not ready to let her go. All right, let's do this. Hi, it's Editing Chi. My videos don't usually look this bad. I just must have had my ring light turned up too high. It was a very emotional video for me, and I just don't want to record it again. I don't want to go through it again, so I hope you understand. Hi, my name's Chi and this is Zena, and I've been doing some Married at First Sight recaps, and I had actually planned to get some KFC and address the dinner party and have a little bit of fun and a little bit of a laugh, but whilst I was watching this episode, things got really real for me. This is really personal, and there's a massive elephant in the room when it comes to Natalie, and I just feel like it needs to be addressed. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about where Natalie and Collins are in their marriage, and then we're going to react a little bit to some of their honeymoon, and then talk about what happened to them at the dinner party. So I'm going to chew on some vowels still because I am an Australian.
You bitches will never understand how good it is to be Australian and say the word no. Like, I'm chewing on those vowels. I'm having a meal.
And we're going to talk about the departure of Nat and Collins. So let me set the scene for you a little bit. Nat and Collins have been married. Natalie is the girl who is not like other girls, but also lost her father 6 weeks before the filming of the wedding. Collins is a trivia host and a comedian and is not that into Natalie. Not through lack of trying on Natalie's behalf though. Natalie has tried really hard to get Collins to show her any affection, and Collins is just not giving her any affection at all. And as I said, Natalie is going through grief right now. She is in the absolute thralls of grief, and I feel like it's a bit of an elephant in the room, and I feel like we see her grief pretty clearly. I mean, I might be thinking into it too much because I also lost my father in 2020. I lost my mother in 2022. And in November 2023, I lost my niece. She passed away in a car accident. A lot of people are treating me like my niece shouldn't matter to me. But my niece actually matters more. My parents lived their life and I was shocked but ready to let them go. But I have a very deep connection with my niece and I was not ready to let her go. And when I see Natalie's reaction to the relationship with her and Colin, I actually see grief. And I see a poor girl who is away from her family and her friends, people that she really, really needs in this time, and stuck with a man who is quite insensitive to the reality of what she's going through. Oh gosh. Okay, so Nat's trying so hard to connect with Collins, but it would seem that he's not that into her. He's still just not that into her. Like, he built the biggest pillow wall that the experiment has ever seen to keep them separate in bed. I mean, that's a pretty big sign that he doesn't even want to try cuddling. Collins has organized a fishing trip. Yeah, that's right, a beautiful romantic fishing trip, which Natalie is not keen on, and we are not surprised there at all, right? So Collins decides he's an executive and he's going to make an executive decision, and he organizes a buggy ride out to the hottest part of the beach in the sun with no shade. But by this time, Nat's pretty much completely done. She's just like, this is too hot. I can't breathe. I need some shade. And we see them on the way back from their buggy ride, and poor Nat She is just turned to the side and defeated and so sad. And Collins is there taking a selfie. He's got his camera out and he's taking like a full hey selfie. I just can't with that. And then we see Natalie leant over, probably trying not to cry, and he's like, they're there, and then takes his hand away. It's all just very insensitive on his behalf. Like, show a little empathy. You must know what's wrong with her. And then we have to watch the world's most awkward confessional. Oh my God, even the producer has had it with Collins. Had it. She can't seem to get a straight answer out of him. With Colin confusing the producer this much, imagine how confused Natalie is. Yeah, the tears in Nat's eyes say so much more. This poor girl has wasted precious time, precious grieving time with her family to be there with this guy who can't even give anyone a straight answer. It's just a lot. We go to before the dinner party and Collins is so excited about the dinner party and Natalie is hoping that Collins is going to be there for her and she's just not feeling it. She's just not feeling this at all. The show is not talking about this at all. It's not talking about what's really going on with Natalie. It's talking about, like, of course they have the show to sell, they have the relationship to sell, so it's all about this relationship, but like there is a deeper hurt that's going on with Natalie and Collins should know this and he is not being empathetic in any way, shape or form or caring for her or anything. It makes me mad. Then everybody goes to the table and Natalie and Collins go out for a chat. And this is where my blood starts to absolutely boil. Because Collins says to Nat that you were sitting there on the lounge looking very sour. And I was so freaking triggered by that. Duh, mate. How dare you? How freaking dare you? I hate it. Natalie and Collins do eventually make their way to the dinner table though. But Natalie is an absolute shell. She's feeling alone in a room full of people. She's going through something so deep and personal to her. And the saddest thing is there's actually two people in the room that know exactly what she's going through. Whew. Okay, so we get to a point where Natalie can't do it anymore. She can't be there. Without the connection that she needs from Collins, it's going to be really, really hard to make it through her grief in a room full of people when you don't even have someone to hold your hand. You don't even have someone to give you a kind hug or a kind word. And Natalie is completely checked out by now. It is exhausting to live with grief. Exhausting. And I understand that Natalie wanted to throw herself into something fun, but sometimes you just can't help it. Like I said, I might be looking into it too deeply, but without her feeling any affection or care or love from Collins, I can see that her grief is affecting her really negatively. It would seem that Natalie has completely reached her wit's end with this relationship and the way things are going, and I can just see grief in her eyes so much. She can't help that. There's nothing you can do about grief. Like, it hits you when it hits you. It doesn't matter if you're on a television show, it doesn't matter if you're at work, it doesn't matter if you're at Christmas with your loved ones. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. If grief is going to hit you, it's going to hit you. So Natalie decides to go home, and I don't blame her. Why would you? How could you? Unless you've been through it, it's just something that you would never understand. Collins has brought Nat back to announce to everyone at the table that she is leaving, and they cut out a lot of what Natalie says, but it looks like she has spoken about the way that she's feeling and about her grief, and everybody has gotten up to give her a hug, but Collins tells them to stop. I have something to say. And then he's like, all of a sudden he's filled with empathy and he's crying. And now that it's been put on the table, now he's been put on blast in front of the dinner party, the group, he's all of a sudden come on board with how Natalie is feeling. And then as we leave the couple in the dinner party, we find that Collins is just freaking out. He's freaking out. He's saying things like, I can't believe this is how my MAFS journey is going to end. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe this is my journey. I can't believe it's ending. Like, all he cares about is being on the television show. Like it's Australian Idol or something like that. Like, it's not a competition. Anyways, he's sitting there being like, I can't even listen to them all chatting and having a good time. I just want to be a part of it. I can't with Collins. Like, you're done with me. So yeah, that's I just needed to get that off my chest. I just needed to bring out the elephant in the room that Natalie's is going through a lot of grief, and it's actually extremely difficult to go through grief when you don't have anyone to connect with and you don't have anyone to give you a hug or a kind word or to hold your hand. Whew, okay, all right. So yeah. That's very personal to me, and I just needed to get it off my chest, and I'm exhausted now after that. So yeah, like and subscribe if you want to. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Bye. See you later, mate.